The concept of opportunity cost has got to be one of the most important concepts in economics that you will likely use upon graduation or throughout your life, not only in the workplace but also in your personal life. The concept of opportunity cost tells us that when we want to buy a certain good or do a certain thing, we have to give up something else. And that something else, when we're talking about that next best alternative that is given up in order to obtain a certain good or service, is our opportunity cost. So when you are here listening to these videos, studying for principles of microeconomics, you are giving up this time to work or to do something else with this time. Okay, this time doesn't just add on to your life. You could have used it for something else. So, yeah, the opportunity cost is always going to be that next best alternative. So if you have $100, maybe in your head you could buy a certain amount of clothing, you could buy a certain piece of equipment, or you could buy 100 chocolate bars. Well, 100 chocolate bars, even though it's an option, it's not likely going to be in your top option. So as you rank them and you make your choices, well, you have your option that you choose, that's your top option, and then you have your next best alternatives, which that next best alternative will be your opportunity cost. So in this example here, we have a man who tells his dog, "I hope you appreciate that each walk costs $175 of my billable time." This is a case of opportunity cost because for a certain amount of time that he has to spend with his dog, if he were to be working at the same time, he would have been $175 richer. So it's something to keep in mind, and it's often something that makes you behave in a certain way. For an example, when you're young and your workout options are not the most lucrative, it's very easy to decide, I'm going to go and travel Southeast Asia and I'm going to go there for 6 months. Because during this time frame, even though it costs a certain amount of money, the opportunity cost of the amount of income that you forego is very small. However, I'm pretty sure that most of you, if you start earning very high salaries, 100,000 and more, so the equivalent of at least $50 an hour of work, you might reconsider that option of taking 6 months leave without pay to go explore Southeast Asia and actually go only for a month or a shorter period, because with that extra 5 months of work, you're able to generate $40,000-$50,000 of revenue, and that 1 month that you decided to go, you're able to treat yourself really well and to come back, and also with that extra money then maybe pay off some of your house or different things like that. So the opportunity cost is way greater when you make more money. Okay, so another way to see opportunity cost, there's many ways to see it, is if you win $10,000 at a lottery, you think of different options you could do with your money. Initially, 10,000 seems like an infinite amount, that there's so many things you could do with it, but you quickly realize that it's really easy to spend it all or to invest it all or save it all. So as soon as you start looking at your options, your best option is going to be the one that you choose. But the next best option, the one that you're hesitating to take, is your opportunity cost. So you have to deal with trade-offs. Different examples of opportunity costs, going to university. So when we think of opportunity costs, it's not necessarily your direct cost of going to university. It's the time that you've put towards studying that you could have been working. That's your big opportunity cost. Parking lots, what I mean here by parking lots is if you think in New York City or any big city and you go to park your car and you're like, wow, this is extremely expensive. Why is it so expensive to park the car in the city? Well, it's because of this concept of opportunity costs. If the owner of this lot wanted to remove the parking lot and build a skyscraper there, well, it would generate a certain amount of money. So the parking lot, for it to be profitable to be there, has to generate enough, or else they'll simply not run a parking lot and sell off the lot for something else. Beers versus wings, the more you buy one, the less you could buy the other one. A snowboard trip, so if you're thinking over Christmas time to go on a trip, If you could be working instead or doing something else, well, you have to take into account the cost of your trip and everything else versus how much money you could be making. Building your own house is very important. A lot of people, when they start building their own house, like I've built mine, is you don't really think about all the time you're putting in. You often try to reduce costs, so you do as much as you can yourself. And then you realize, wow, I saved a lot of money, but if over this course of this time you could have been working for someone else on different contracts, and you could have made much more money than the amount that you've saved by not contracting out different jobs on your house, well, you have to take that into account. So for some people, even though you save a lot of money by doing things yourself, you might as well contract it out. If you think of a hockey player or a celebrity like that could cut their own lawn, it doesn't necessarily mean that they should, even though they can and they could do it fast, they could do it efficiently. It's this situation that if for them to cut their own lawn or to do something else around the house means that they have to give up this contract or give up this job that they could do that would give them over an afternoon like $5,000 worth of money, well, it's not really worthwhile to cut your own grass and give up that option. Okay. So essentially, these are different examples that lead to opportunity cost decisions.